Hi everyone. So I wanted to address today's a big day. It's a full moon. But let's go further than being a full moon. It's also Friday the 13th. Dun dun dun. So listen, every time the full moon comes up, there's a ritual that I like to do besides my crystals, that's added to my crystals, in order to release. Full moon brings up all of the stuff that didn't work out for us. Now, I had a fantastic full moon, and that means that a lot of things came into fruition for me. And why does that happen? Because I released the limitations from the last moon to help me assist me with this moon. So this time, instead of feeling like, oh, I feel, depressed, or I have to let go of this or this person or this action and things like that, I had things that manifested the way that I saw it at the beginning of summer. So June, this was the whole period, it was from June until this one. But anything that came up, any ideas that I wanted to manifest throughout the summer, finally came into fruition for this week. So it's been fantastic. And I wanted to share with you the way that I do a releasing ritual, because people do it all differently, all right? There's no one way to release. It's what feels good to you. The first thing I like to do on a full moon is take all of my crystals outside. Do you know why? Because the energy is at the strongest. It's very high vibrational, so I take mostly my crystals. I have tons of crystals, but I take mostly all of my quartz outside because quartz amplifies energy. So this guy, he's getting all ready for tomorrow, because I meant for today really, is the big day. The energies can go for 3 days. So very extremely powerful. Take them outside tomorrow, the next day. You want to be careful though, because if it's raining, you don't want to mess up your crystals. Some of them will break or get brittle. So take your crystals outside and have them charge in the full moon. That's number one. I love charging all of my crystals in the full moon because the energy is strong and it's feminine and it just feels very powerful and good. So let's talk about rituals for releasing. You have all of the elements of the earth. You have the air, you have fire, you have water, and you also have sun. So for this ritual of releasing, you want to use the element of fire. Now, a lot of people can't make a fire around their house. Maybe you live in an apartment or something like that. That's okay. You can also use a candle for this. Or another thing that you can do is create a virtual meditation space, which is what I like to do, and even in my group online, create a meeting space. And what happens is you enter into your meditational space and you create a fire that is going to be there, a bonfire. Or, again, you can use a candle and have a candle there. So when you are releasing, the steps to do a ritual, number one is that you want to cleanse yourself. So I like to take sage, light my sage, put it into the shell, light your sage, allow all of the energy to run through you, clearing out your aura, clearing out your chakras, and going down to the very cells within your body. If you would like to call in Saint Germain and the violet flame, perfect time to do so. Ask him to do his work and run the violet flame through you. So this cleanses you before you start your ritual. So you're not bringing the stuff, the energy that may be somebody else's energy, to your ritual or the space that you want to connect in and release. After that, you might want to visualize yourself going over to a fire, a bonfire. If you're doing it virtually and you can't get to any kind of fire, you can do it throughout your head into this meditational space. Or you could use a candle, and you're going to take a piece of paper. But before we get to that paper, you want to call in your team. So your spirit team, your guides, your higher vibrations to come through and assist you in with this releasing. Whoever you use, okay? So if you use the angels, call in the angels. If you use whoever, it doesn't matter. It's what feels right to you and what feels good to you, who feels good to you. So call in your spirit team. Then you want to call in your ancestors. We do not honor our ancestors enough, but they're very wise. They have tons of wisdom. And a lot of times you have passed down through generations rituals that can help and assist you. So please remember to call in your ancestors. And finally, I like to call in the energies of the north, the south, the east, and the west to come forth and help me in creating this ceremony. The best thing for you to do is create intention of why you want to connect in with the spiritual world and with you to release and let go. For me, I like to use my drum. So I'm going to show you what this looks like, okay? Here's my handy dandy drum. She's so pretty. And I stand in the north. I call in my spirit team, my ancestors, and the north. And then I turn. I call in my spirit team, my ancestors, and the energies of the west. And then I turn. So depending upon which direction I'm in, I do this and I call them in for all sides, north, south, east, and west, and I go in a circle. I go into a clockwise circle. And then I stand there and I say, please come in. And you can feel the presence of these beings around you. You can feel being supported, being loved, being cared for. I even do this before I call in spirits for clients, and I can feel their grandfathers come in, their grandmothers, their aunts, everybody that comes in through the drum. And then I set my intention. Thank you all for being here. We always start with gratitude in a ritual. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for assisting me. I would like to release the following things. And I may either visually see myself write down items if I'm not in a space that I can create a physical location. I will write down things in like a meditational space. And I put down all my whole list, like anything that I'm not, if I'm lacking in some area of my life, I'm writing that down on my list. If it's in physical form, in the present, in the 3D form, then I'm writing my list down on a piece of paper. So with that, I fold up my list, and I close my eyes, and I visualize everything being taken away. So if it's in a relationship, if it's with your health, if it's in career, if it's trying to get finances together, I want to visualize not suffering. I want to feel myself surrendering and letting go to the higher power and releasing my fears. And then I'll go over to the flame and I will put the paper into the fire. Of course, you always want to be careful. Don't do anything that causes a fire, like a real fire. If it's in your head and you're doing a meditation, then I send my list over to the flame of the fire. And I just embrace it with those few minutes. And I may feel something in my body move. I may feel something around me shift and change. But I embrace what that's like. And I just surrender. And then I give out my love and gratitude. So the final step is for you to put in, how does it feel? Like, what do you want to feel come in? What do you want love? Do you want to feel like you have abundance? Well, what does abundance feel like to you? What does that feel like to you, right? Where can you feel that on your body? Do you want your heart to expand? Is it a new relationship? All these kind of things is what you want to replace this with. Remember, if you let go and release energy, then you have to bring in new energy or else you'll have a whole space of void in your field. So you want to incorporate new energy with that. So after I feel loved, I feel good, and my aura feels strong, and I'm creating what I want to see, then again I say my gratitude and I close the ceremony. Now when I close the ceremony, it's through my gratitude, it's through thanking my spirit guides and my spirit team. If I'm doing a meditation, then I leave that space. If I'm doing it in the physical form, then I just sit there and give my gratitude for a long time. And after that, I ground myself again. I ground myself into the physical. There's nothing, well, it's not that it's worse, but you want to be here in the present. If you were in a 3D form, if you were here in the physical form, you want to feel grounded. So I bring myself back into the body, back into the space, and I just ground myself in. And then afterwards, I may want to grab some water, have a drink of something, and then I go about my day. So that is my experience. A lot of times I might close with my drum and thank my drum and bang in my drum again. But I close the ceremony and I say thank you. And then I wait until the next full moon and see what happened. What did I bring in? What did I want to bring in? What did I want to shift? You might want to write things down. Like if you release something, you might want to write down what you brought in to it as well. And that way on the next full moon, you can see how far you got. If you didn't manifest the things that you wanted to create, then you have to look into your belief systems of why those things didn't come up for us or for you at that time. So let me know how this goes for you. If you have any questions, please drop me a link below or a comment. And also, let me know what you do for your ritual. How do you handle your full moons? What goes on with that? All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and always subscribe.